Thank you all for joining us today. This is the live information session for our Bachelor's of Science and Health Science Pre-Occupational Studies program. So for any of those who have something that comes up, I understand most of you are giving up your lunchtime for this. This session will be recorded and sent out to everyone afterwards. So if you miss something that we discussed today, or have to leave for some reason, we will follow up with a full recording of the meeting. My name is Tim Heffernan. I am an enrollment services advisor for the program. What that really means is my job, and for the other members of my team, is to help students like yourself navigate the application process. First and foremost, to make sure that this is the program that is right for you and is what you're looking for. And then to also help go through all of the steps. It's not as complicated as it seems, but to make sure that everything from the application to FAFSA and other issues is being taken care of before so you have kind of a hands-on experience through the enrollment process.
And hi, everyone. My name's Lori McAleer. I'm the Pre-Occupational Therapy Program Director. So I've been in this role for about 5 years. And so I'm an occupational therapist by background. I've been in practice for well over 2 decades. So you guys can do the math and figure out how old I am. But I've worked in pretty much every setting that an occupational therapist can work in. And I've done various administrative work. And when this opportunity came along, I was very excited by it. I get to be able to help mentor students, and I also teach in the pre-occupational therapy program. So should you all enroll, more than likely you will have me as a professor at least once during your time at UC. Okay, so the reason why you all were invited here today is because there's agreements in place called articulation agreements. And essentially what those are agreements between the University of Cincinnati and the institution where you received your OTA degree from. So what we've done is we've looked at the curriculum from the institution where you've received your OTA degree and feel that it meets the criteria for transfer credit and essentially allows us to fast track students coming in to the UC program. So, and this is a two-sided relationship. So your institution has also vetted the University of Cincinnati's online Bachelor of Health Sciences Pre-Occupational Therapy program and feel like it's a good fit for students coming out of your program. Okay, so I've already spoken about some of the benefits of these articulation agreements, but just to kind of hammer home, so there's guaranteed credit transfer. So if you graduated from OTA school 10 years ago and you're like, oh my gosh, do I have to retake Biology 1? The answer is no. So the thought process behind that is if you are able to pass your NBCOT exam to become an OTA, you can read and reason well enough that you don't have to repeat coursework, especially coursework that may be older than the typically 7-year mark. There's also ease of admission, as I had mentioned, and peace of mind that both your institution and the University of Cincinnati have vetted each other. So at the bottom is a list of current institutions that the UC Pre-OT program has articulation agreements in place with, and we are looking to continually grow these agreements. So next slide.
So just a little bit about the University of Cincinnati. UC is the second largest college in the state of Ohio. We were founded in 1819, so we have been around for a really long time. We are a Carnegie Research 1 institution, which is the highest level of, I guess, accreditation within research that you can get. And we have students who are from all 50 states with a very strong retention rate. And one thing that I will point out is that UC Online students is fully integrated into UC. This is not a branding deal that an online school has done, with a college that sometimes exists out there. Professors and administration, your support staff are all fully part of the University of Cincinnati, and those benefits that those in-person students receive, you also receive as an online student. So I want you to go in with full confidence that your degree bears the full weight of that 150 plus year or 200 year history behind it, and your degree will say it is from the University of Cincinnati. Your diploma does not say anything about taking online or being an online student.
Okay, so talking about the pre-occupational therapy program, Tim had mentioned that there's over 50,000 students at UC. And what I really like about my role and the pre-OT program is that of those 50,000 plus students, there's a much smaller subset of pre-OT students. So I know the students' names. I have relationships with them. So in my role, I teach online, so on-campus students. These are the more traditional students. Many of them are right out of high school, and they're on a health sciences pre-OT track. So I teach 2 intro to OT classes to those students. And then for the online program, this is a program specific to OTAs who want to complete a bachelor's degree. And as previously mentioned, students do not have to take general education courses such as English 101, so they don't have to retake that. Okay. So this program is exclusively online, and it's set up to meet most prerequisite coursework requirements for UC and other post-baccalaureate OT programs. So there is a dedicated pre-OT director, so that's me. And what I think is really cool about this program is that there is a specific pre-OT curriculum, which is about 45% different than the general health sciences program. So there's more of a focus on psychology, some of the different skills that OT professionals would use, et cetera. So I'll talk more about the curriculum here in a minute. But in order to graduate, students need to have 120 credit hours in order to graduate with a bachelor's degree. And as part of the articulation agreements, which I had mentioned, UC will accept a predefined number of credit hours from your OTA degree, and then any other coursework that you have taken will be assessed. So students can transfer up to 90 credit hours to the University of Cincinnati and then take a minimum of 30 credit hours at UC to be able to complete their bachelor's. So the curriculum is really set up to allow students to be able to further their careers, become better practitioners, enter graduate level pre-OT or graduate level OT programs, and then enter other graduate programs. And I'll talk more about that here in a minute. All right. So kind of reiterating some of the highlights. So this program is exclusively online. And there is the option, if you're somewhat local to Cincinnati, that you can take classes on campus if you wish. So in all of my time as the pre-OT director, I've never had a student want to drive to campus and park and go and sit in a lecture hall, but that is an option. And I also want to reiterate that students that finish this program are awarded a Bachelor of Science in Health Sciences on their diploma. So there is no mention of pre-occupational therapy. Pre-occupational therapy is kind of more of an internal mechanism to identify which track students are on. So if you're like, hey, I'm interested in getting a bachelor's degree because I can get a promotion in my current job, I can get a pay raise, fantastic. Again, keep in mind that your degree would say Bachelor of Science in Health Sciences. So there is a scholarship of up to $1,500 that Tim will talk about a little later. And the other, what I think is pretty cool part is that there's a defined curriculum for this program, and students can go as quickly or as slowly as they would like to be able to finish their degree. So you can be full-time, part-time, you can take 22 credit hours as one student had done, or you could take 3 credit hours and kind of go at your own pace. So there is open enrollment. So students can be admitted any semester, so summer, fall, or spring semester. And there is a built-in minor in psychology. As you all know, psychology is such an integral part of occupational therapy. So through following the curriculum, you're able to get the minor in psychology. There's dedicated student support from the application to graduation. Students enrolled in the program are assigned a student success coordinator, and that's essentially like an advisor who helps guide them through enrolling in classes, making sure that students are on track to meet their professional goals, etc. And the last thing I'll mention is that this program is set up to meet most post-baccalaureate pre-OT program prerequisites. However, it does not meet all institutions. So an example is Cleveland State in Cleveland, Ohio. They have a prerequisite of neuroscience, and neuroscience is not a course in our curriculum because it's very similar to the psychobiology class, which is used to get the minor in psychology. So, but Cleveland State does not recognize the psychobiology class as equivalent. So always encourage students to check with the institutions that they may be interested in attending to see if there's additional prerequisites. And then many students have electives built into their curriculum, and that's done on purpose. So that they can take additional prerequisites as an elective. So they're not investing additional time and money into the curriculum. Next slide. All right, so curriculum highlights. Curriculum is rooted in mental health and holistic care. So it's set up to build upon and enhance OTA knowledge. So just want to reiterate that this program does not teach direct OT clinical skills. So there will never be mentioned of OT models of practice, but there are courses that are tied to OT's core skills and are intended to help enhance your clinical practice. So some courses include psychology, statistics, medical terminology, healthcare ethics, biomechanics, pharmacology, etc. So students that enroll in this program are given an individualized curriculum map based on credits that they transfer in. So some students may not need to take medical terminology, for example, if they've taken that course before. And then the last part of the curriculum is that there is a capstone course for the pre-OT and health sciences online students. And this is where students complete some research and critically appraised research on a particular topic of their choice. So more than likely, students will have me as the instructor for this course, but it's intended to be a culmination of their coursework. Next slide. So other highlights, flexible curriculum, the built-in minor in psychology, and then there are various elective minor certificate options, and there's a big long list. And this is set up on purpose, so giving students enrolled in the program some flexibility to meet their personal and/or professional goals. So there's a developmental disability certificate, public health minor, foreign language minors, etc. So if you're interested in various minors or certificates, encourage students to work closely with their advisor and just make sure that they're taking the required courses to be able to meet the criteria. So all of the list of options that you're given are certificates, minors, electives that are offered exclusively online. Next slide. So career outcomes. So most of our students, when they finish the program, will go on to an OT graduate program, but you may not want to, and that's quite okay. So maybe, again, you're interested in this program to get a raise, to move up into management. But the cool part is after finish this program, you have a bachelor's degree, which opens up a lot more opportunities. So making students eligible for jobs or careers in management, becoming a rehab liaison, rehab sales, research coordinator, special education intervention specialist, etc. And then many students as well will decide to further their education. So some have pursued a master's of health administration, special education, applied behavior analysis, etc. So again, if you're interested in this program and you're thinking about pursuing a different graduate program, I would encourage you to, again, look at prerequisites and then think about taking the prerequisites for these different programs as part of your electives, if you have that built into your curriculum map. So here's a sample curriculum. I'm not going to spend time going through this because students enrolled in this program, again, will be given a individualized curriculum, but you can kind of see the progression of courses and what some of the courses look like. Okay, next slide. And then here's some elective recommendations. This list is certainly not all-inclusive, but if you have 3 credit hours, for example, of electives in your curriculum, you're like, wow, I'd really like to take a course, but I have no idea what to take. Here's some options. I believe the University of Cincinnati offers well over 10,000 classes per semester. So certainly don't want students to spend their time going through that big long list. Okay, next slide. So as Tim had mentioned, University of Cincinnati has students coming from all over the US and the world. So you can see by this map where our students come from. Because it is an exclusively online program, students can literally be anywhere in the country or world, and assuming that they meet the admission criteria, they can be admitted. So just reiterating that you do not have to live in Ohio to enroll in this program, but that is where many of our students come from. Okay. So as of July 2024, there have been 130 graduates from the Pre-OT online program. Many of these graduates are working professionals, so they're working as an OTA. Many are juggling family responsibilities, etc., in addition to their coursework. But the average GPA among the graduates is a 3.53, which I think is pretty awesome. So the curriculum is not easy, it's not fluff, but it is doable, and certainly will take some discipline to be able to juggle all of these different competing priorities. So here's some student testimonials, and I'm not going to read them to you, but Maria on the top was a sleep technician and an OTA, and she used her bachelor's degree to be able to move into a management role in the sleep lab of the hospital that she worked at. And then Ryan in the middle used this to meet the eligibility criteria to attend Muskingum University, which is in Eastern Ohio. And then Candace, she was actually, I have her permission to say this, she was our oldest student coming in at 56. Our youngest was 20. But Candace used this bachelor's degree to allow her to get an increase in pay for her school-based position. And I think it's pretty cool that her and her daughter graduated at the same time. Okay. So for those of you that are somewhat close to Cincinnati and or are thinking about relocating, there is a early assurance program. So for students who are interested in attending University of Cincinnati's OTD program and meet certain eligibility requirements, they can be guaranteed a spot in the OTD program. And there's a QR code for more information. So let me pause there real quick before I turn it over to Tim and see if there's any questions or comments from the audience. Okay, I will assume everything is crystal clear then. So I'll turn it over to you, Tim.
Thank you, Lori. So to talk a little bit about the application process and requirements for this program. So it's a fairly straightforward process. It is a quick online application that takes about 10 minutes to fill out. Along with that, we would need your transcripts from any college that you have attended. On those transcripts, we are looking for a minimum GPA of a 2.5. Along with the GPA requirements, we do ask that you will upload a picture of your licensure as well. A lot of questions that we get about this process is many people possibly in this meeting are currently students of an OTA program. And they would like to continue straight into the bachelor's program as soon as they finish their associate's program. But obviously you don't have your license yet. You don't have the final transcript. So a lot of times we get questions on how that works. So if you're looking to move directly into the bachelor's program, you are eligible to submit your application and transcripts as soon as your final semester of your associate program begins. At that point, when you send in your official transcripts, your classes for that final semester will appear on the transcript, even though they are not completed. There won't be a grade. It will say some variation of in progress. But if you submit those transcripts, you can receive an admissions decision. As far as the license goes and the kind of follow-up process, once you're accepted to the program and you do finish that last semester, you will then just upload a final transcript with your graduation date and those grades from those final semester. As far as the license goes, you have up until you are registering for classes for your second semester to get your license. A lot of our students are doing that pretty quickly because they want to get to work and use that associate's degree that they earned. But myself, some people from my team, and the student success coordinator will walk you through that whole process of getting it scheduled and then taking that exam and kind of sending us that information before you go ahead and register for that second semester. So you are not required to take a semester off just to do the test before getting in the bachelor's program. We will just follow up with you on the back end. And there is no application fee whatsoever. As far as the calendar, we have 3 start dates a year. That top line of dates, that is when the application deadline is. And for that application deadline, we need all materials in. So your license, your transcripts, and your online application. Again, if it's a conditional admit process where you're still in classes, we still just need all the information that you have at that time in, and then we'll work on you with you after that date to get the rest of the information in. I do also want to say that the FAFSA deadline is June 30th. FAFSA will continue with you if you are, let's say, completing your program in a fall semester and would like to join UC in the spring semester. You fill out your FAFSA just once a year. You will add UC to that, to your information. UC will then come back once you're accepted into the program and confirmed. We will add you to our information, and that FAFSA will be able to transfer over. It's not like just because you change schools, you have to fill out multiple FAFSA applications per year. Once you fill it out once for a school year, then that is good. As far as the tuition for this program, we break it down per credit hour because our students are taking, for the most part, different credit hours per semester. As Lori had mentioned, we try to be flexible, understand that our students are usually working full time and have busy personal lives. So if you need to take more classes in certain semesters and less in others, you have that flexibility. The FAFSA national minimum to be considered a part-time student is taking 2 courses or 6 credit hours. Once you hit that 6 credit hour mark, you are eligible for federal financial aid. And if you take 12 or more credits, you then be considered a full-time student and can then get financial aid based on a full-time level. We do have 3 semesters throughout the year, and that money is spread out through those 3 semesters. So here at UC, we do have a specific scholarship that goes along with our pre-OT program. So this is for up to $1,500 scholarship. That is broken up into your first 3 semesters within the program at $500 per semester. It is really built in for most of our students as long as they are working towards the degree and maintain a good academic standard. Again, these come out in your first 3 semesters and really do help bridge any gap you may have between your financial aid and the total cost of the tuition. I've already kind of mentioned a little bit about the financial aid, but I have added our UC's code there at the bottom. Again, you can add us really at any point. When everything will get switched over is when UC adds you to our financial aid information. That's kind of when the handshake is completed and we can transfer that those funds. Another financial aid benefit we have here at UC is for our military students. On top of all the VA benefits that you may receive, for our active duty and veteran students, the College of Allied Health Sciences has a specific scholarship set up, again, to try to help bridge that gap. That is to up to $1,500 per semester, capping at 100%. So if your military benefit covers 70% of your tuition, UC will add that $1,500 scholarship to help bridge that gap, try to get it to 100%. That is something that is specific for our College of Allied Health Sciences, and again, is specifically for active duty and veteran students. We have a military affairs office here on campus, who is fantastic. Terrence, who runs that program, really does try to make the process as simple as possible. We know dealing with the VA at times is not the easiest of things, so we try to make the process as smooth as we can. Unless I would say we also have university partners, so we call them U2B partners. These are scholarships that can go to either an employee, a spouse, or a dependent of somebody who's working with one of our business partners. We're constantly looking to add new partners. So even if your business or your company currently isn't one of our partners, we'd love to discuss with them about the possibility of becoming it. It is the amount that you get as far as a scholarship will depend on different things within the company, but we have added a QR code where you can get a little bit more information and see if you or a spouse or someone within your family is a part of one of these organizations, and we can kind of help foster that. And as far as next steps, you all may have already been contacted by someone from by either myself or someone from my team to talk a little bit more about the program. You can go right ahead and start that application process, but you will also probably get some information from an ESA. If you need to know a little bit about anything, please feel free to follow up with whoever's reaching out to you, whether that by email, text message, phone, whatever, especially if it's anything specifically about the admissions process. I will say this, program, you may feel like, okay, November 15th I've got a lot of time to fill that out, to get transcripts ordered, make sure FAFSA is all good, to do all those process. It's never too early to apply as long as you are in that final semester. So again, that is kind of your guidelines for when to apply, but when to talk to us can happen if you're in your first semester of your OTA program or are thinking about it from 18 months from now. We are always ready to have those conversations with you. And we'll finish up with any questions that you may have.
All right, well, Tim, I assume everything is crystal clear then.
If we don't have any questions, I appreciate everyone coming today. Thank you for your time. Again, we will send out a recording of this if you had to miss, or if there was you came in late possibly. We will get to that as soon as we can, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the day.
Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.